What is up, you guys? Tana Ashley here, and today I want to talk about binge eating. This is something that I used to struggle with big time, and I was finally able to overcome it. So I want to help you if you're struggling with it, and hopefully you can overcome it too. Actually, you can. You just have to tell yourself you can, because you can. It all starts up here. Number one secret. All right, so now that you have tip number one, now I'm gonna share my experience, okay? Tip number one, what's tip number one? Mindset, mind. What's tip number one? You gotta tell yourself, you can overcome this shit, okay? So, I started my fitness journey back when I was 13. I grew up with a family who was all about healthy foods and lifting weights and taking care of yourself. And since I didn't have any junk food in the house, if I wanted to eat bad, I would go to grandma's house or wait till my mom would take us to a drive-thru and order everything I possibly could. And I mean, obviously at the time I didn't know it was binge eating. I was 13. So here I am overeating any chance I get. So that's why I loved the holidays, loved going to grandma's house, loved going to drive-thrus because I could eat whatever I wanted, as much as I wanted, and it was amazing. So as I got older, this got way worse because now here I am, older, I'm like all about my looks because I was 17 and just, I gotta make sure that I look nice and skinny, but I also loved food. So this whole little binge eating thing turned into starve yourself all week, binge on the weekends, and it's like your reward for getting through the week. So once again, it was that mindset. Like, I'm looking at food as a reward, and that's a terrible way to look at it. So, you know, I also tied it to pleasure. It was something that I got a lot of pleasure out of because during the week I completely restricted myself from that stuff. So I'm like 108 pounds. I decided to do my first fitness competition, and that made everything 10 times worse. So I'm against all these beautiful women who are ripped and look amazing. And here I am, 108 pounds, 17 years old. You know, I'm lifting weights, but my diet wasn't on point. So I just looked like a little string bean. Like, this was me. And so that like really screwed me up because now I'm like, well, now I want muscles, but I don't know how to get them. And so then I went into my personal training certification, all of that. Really wanted to learn everything I could about fitness. And that's when I started realizing, okay, food is our friend. But I still couldn't figure out a balance with it. And so the weekends continued. Starve, binge, and I finally met someone who was like, you're way too skinny, you need to start eating more. So that was like my boop, my ears perked up, eat more, okay. So I'm like Jack in the Box, In-N-Out burger, I mean, pizza, ice cream. I was binging on it pretty much every day. And I ended up getting to 130 pounds, but I was lifting super heavy at the time, so my body was sculpted amazingly. Like, I have to be a little cocky right there. I gotta give myself a little bit of credit, okay? I looked fucking good. But I was 22, and so I was able to get away with the eating bad and, you know, whatever. So I go to the doctor, get my blood work done, and he walks in, he goes, I can't believe I'm gonna tell you this, but you're 22. You look really, really healthy, but if you do not get your eating together, you're gonna have to be on high cholesterol medicine or whatever, medication, whatever the fuck they call it. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, time to get my shit together. So I really tried figuring out balance and what was gonna work best for my life. And it was still kind of a struggle because I still had that mindset where I was tied to food. Food was a pleasure to me. And it was this reward that I get at the end of the week. And when I'm with family, like, this is what we get to enjoy now. And so I was still struggling with that. And as I got older and more aware of like my mindset and all of that, you know, and health, I should add, I really started trying to focus on like, okay, eat cleaner, like eat stuff that's good for you so you feel good. And I ended up getting in a relationship, and you know, with relationships comes celebrating with food. Once again, mindset tied to food, celebration, bad. So we would just pig out, and I was at 130 pounds still, so I'm 25 at the time, or 24. And you know, once I was trying to really get a grip on my diet, it was like I'd be good for a few days, and then we would have a cheat day that would turn into a cheat weekend, and it was just a mess. And so I was like, okay, how do I really figure out this? So I was never happy with how I looked, who I was, what I was doing with my life. And so in order to fix all of that, I had to sit there and tell myself affirmations every day, figure out my true passion, go after that, and become a better person by just doing better things for other people and stuff like that. And then 2 was my mindset with, or my relationship with food. So instead of looking at it as a pleasure, I had to really realize, okay, when I eat that bad food, I feel like shit. When I feel like shit, I don't wanna go out, I don't wanna go to the gym, I just wanna sleep, and then I wanna repeat this cycle because I'm sad and all of that. So that relationship with food was, okay, look, it is time to boss up and understand that this food is fuel. It is to make you feel good. It is to recover your muscles. It's to make you properly function. So really focus on that. And now when I look at junk food, it's like, I still have some, I mean, and I still eat a lot of junk food on the weekends, but it's not like my old binges where I would order a large pizza, a huge thing of brownies, and then continue on. But I'm like, if it's in my house, I'll eat it. So I recognize that, and I know not to have it in my house unless it's something that I'm okay with binge eating or eating, whatever you wanna call it. Yeah. Anyways, so, and then the last is honestly habits. So since I was in this habit for so long, it was so hard for me to break. So I had to start replacing it with new stuff. So now on the weekends, like I make sure that I'm busy with family or friends. I make sure I'm busy with work, or just taking time to myself and going and walking my dogs, going to the mall, just walking around, being around people, because then that way I'm not like, oh, I'm at home, I'm bored, what can I eat, what can I order? Let's just binge because it's easy. Now it's, I'm out in public, I don't wanna be bloated and feel like shit when I'm in clothes, so I'm not gonna sit there and binge eat. I'm gonna be mindful of what I'm eating, and that way I'm gonna feel good, I'm gonna feel confident when I go out and feel good. So it was a tough process to get through, and it does take a lot of work, but you can do it. It is possible. If I overcame it after how long I struggled, you can do it too. And the biggest thing is stop doing these diets. That is the #1 thing that completely screws people up. Like, you try to go balls to the wall and then you fall off, and then you binge eat because you're restricting yourself from the foods that you actually want. So even if you eat good all day, say, you know, you killed it all day, and then at night you're like, oh my God, I just really, really want chocolate. And, you know, say you work through that craving, night #1. Night #2, same craving comes around and you're like, okay, just try to work through it again. Day 3, it's like, have a little piece of chocolate. I mean, honestly, that was the biggest thing. Like, I started getting rice cakes, the chocolate covered rice cakes or whatever, chocolate flavored, put peanut butter on them, had one of those once a day, and it helped big time. But it's just, you know, don't completely restrict yourself. That's a huge thing that will just completely screw us up. So if it's as simple as adding the rice cakes, or if it is like a piece of like dark chocolate, super dark chocolate with a little bit of peanut butter on it, once a day, do it. And then, you know, if you are getting a certain craving a lot, I would definitely look into, you know, what's missing from your health, because when we have a certain craving a lot, it's usually a nutrition that we actually need. So definitely take a look at that. But yeah, binge eating is something that you can overcome. And if you need help with it, email me. But I do have a course that takes you through 12 weeks of truly walking hand in hand with you in order to overcome this. So if this is something you struggle with, don't hesitate to ask for help. I'm here for you, and I hope this video is helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your family and friends, and I will see you guys soon.